going on, Buff Nation? Welcome back to another video. So we're going to dive right into it, man. Coach Prime obviously responding to the loss of Oregon State. A tough loss once again, a close little nail biter at the end there. Had an opportunity to get a big stop, was unable to do that. But then he also responded to just the coaching changes. Got a little spicy, though we wasn't a big fan of the way the question was asked, and got a little riled up.
This is hard. This is hard. The reason it's so hard is because you know you're capable of doing better, playing better, performing better, calling better games, coaching better on my behalf. And you are coming up short when you have enough to get the job done. And it's painful. It hurts myself, the team, and all the coaches, the fans, some of you as well that actually care. They played a valiant game. I love their coach. I love what he stands for. I love what he's about. I love the way he's resurrected that entire program. But our kids fought hard. They really did. And I love the fact that they didn't have any quit in them, that they rallied at the end and gave a heck of an effort. We just wish that we could do that in the midst of the game, the first, second, third, and fourth quarter with consistency, and we haven't found that level of consistency as of yet, and that's what's truly disheartening. Right before the half, we wanted to get out of there because we know we're receiving the ball in the second half, so the plan was to either get a first down and try to go, or if we don't, if we're not successful on first down, okay, let's hit the clock. Let's hit the clock. We had a drop. I think we had maybe one or two drop passes on that series, which is very unfortunate. Then they get a tremendous return. They had 3 timeouts. We knew that going into it. They had a tremendous punt return, and they were able to punch it in, which is crazy, and that hurt tremendously. The score right before the half, because we know we were getting the ball in the second half. Had we not done that, the score is 7-3 at halftime. But unfortunately, that was the case. At the end of the game, we had 3 timeouts. I was instructing one of the officials that she's done a wonderful job, and I'm not blaming her that we want timeouts at the end of the various plays, but they've got a first down. So when I made eye contact and I saw that, it was like we didn't have timeouts. I'm like, and I just saw that. Like it confused me. Like we didn't have any timeouts left. I'm pretty sure it's on camera. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I think we would have saved like 30 or 40 seconds at that. Let's go.
Hi, Coach. Adam, what's your Tiger?
How you doing?
24/7 Sports, doing okay. Have you sensed the same attention to detail from your team in recent weeks?
Yeah. I don't sense the same passion. I do sense the same attention to detail. The film time has gone up. Less mistakes, I think, penalty-wise. We had some penalties in some crazy situations, but we've condensed that over the last couple of weeks. We've been pretty good with that. It's just some little foolish darn penalties that we gathered today, but the passion of it, like the passion of that first game, the passion of those games, we're missing that, and that's still something we're trying to apprehend, and we're trying to locate it as well.
Ariel Studio 9 News.
Mm-hmm.
How did you evaluate the offensive play calling today?
It has so much to do, and that's the great question, Ariel. But it's not just that. It's that and execution of the play that's called. It's that and timing of the play that's called. It's that and the thought process behind these things that's called. It's a lot goes behind that. You guys are just seeing what you see. You're missing a whole lot of intangibles that transpired for us to be in this situation right now.
Coach, what was Shedor's pain level today? It seemed like right away he's really struggled to move around.
I mean, shoot, he's been hurt. I think he went in to get an injection so he could finish. So it's extraordinary.
That was in the fourth quarter?
Yes, sir.
And then how about halftime?
The kid is tough. He's tough. He's fighting through it, and he don't make any excuses. He wasn't raised like that. We're not making any excuses. We don't do that.
Coach, to follow up on Sean Keeler, the Denver Post, to follow up on Ariel's question a little bit, what did Pat Shurmur give you in your mind that you felt to make that switch that Sean Lewis couldn't and didn't?
We're not going to demean Sean Lewis, sir. We're not going to do that. We're not going to take that tone. Sean is a good man. I think he's a good play caller. We just needed change at the time. We just needed to try something else at the time. And that's what we did. And I don't look back on it. I don't second guess myself whatsoever, because it's more to it than what you may know. Okay, so let's just trust the process. Let's just trust the process. Sean is we're not going to demean any coach on his staff by any means. I don't get down like that. I don't move like that.
Hey, Coach, Brian Howard from the
Yes, sir.
Camera. With that, noticed Tim Brewster didn't have a headset on tonight. Is he the
Yeah.
coach that's now an analyst?
Well, yes, you got to understand now, you only get so many coaches in college football. So when you make a move like we made, that means someone has to, I don't call it the emotion. I think move, everybody's making the same amount of money. So when you get demoted, that's a hit on your check. So it's a movement that we had to make. I think we use, how many tight ends in the games? So think about that. It's the proper move. You got to think about that.
And follow up with that tight end position. Notice Caleb Fourier has not been around the last couple weeks. Is he still with this program?
My focus is winning these games, man. It's not who shows up to practice and who doesn't. I mean, let's talk to Brew about that. Okay.
I do have one question formationally about the tight ends. It seems like third down, there were a lot of times tonight where it was kind of you were losing the numbers game at the line of scrimmage. Is the lack of having that type of personnel in the building hurting you guys?
No, I mean it's scheming. You give them a look and you see what they're in, then you call it based on what they're in at sometimes, or you just go with it. Sometimes we don't have that particular guy that I'm not going to say that. We have some players that are pretty good at what they do. That's just the preference of the OC or the call in the rhythm of the game at the time, whether we use the tight end to block, whether he use if we're going to throw the darn ball, I'd rather receiver be out there. That's my preference than a tight end. We got 4 or 5 pretty good guys that can really catch the ball. They can really run good routes. They can really get open. You saw that at the conclusion of the game.
Coach Adam Rittenberg with ESPN. You mentioned a couple of times there's been things behind the scenes maybe we haven't seen with the play call.
That's everybody. It's everybody's life. There's things in your life that I ain't seen. But you're a good guy, though, right?
You have to ask people around. When did you decide to maybe consider making the change? Was it after UCLA, or was it even before that time you were looking into it?
I'm not going to disclose all my thoughts, man. I mean, my thoughts are my thoughts. I'm not going to disclose when I make a decision to do something. Just know that I made the decision and I don't stumble or stutter on it, and I'm not looking back. It is what it is, and that's what it's going to be. I make a decision to help this team win. You guys don't know all the intangibles in it. You just looking from the outside of the crib, looking in. I got tinted windows, and you can't even see in the house, but you're making conclusions on what I should and should not do.
Coach Tyler King with the Denver Gazette. You mentioned the 2 touchdown drives you guys had at the end of the game. I know you haven't got a chance to watch the film yet, but what did you see that was different about for those 2 drives compared to the first handful or so that you guys struggled?
That could be what they presented to us defensively, as well as making up our mind that we want it. We got to make up our mind. We saw a wonderful story today about the last week. I think I showed them a couple of days ago about the cows and the buffaloes. When the storm comes, the cows run from the storms. Buffaloes run to it. And I wanted them to make a decision which one they wanted to be. So they chose to run towards the storm. And they did a wonderful job, and they finished strong, and I was proud of them.
We saw Shedeur throw the ball deep a little bit more maybe than usual today. Is he just trying to take more chances down the field? Obviously, we saw Travis make that play late in the game.
It's not about taking chances. It's about taking what they give you. Like if they give us a one-on-one situation, we're going to bet on our receivers. That we have pretty good receivers. Either they're going to come up with the catch or we're going to get a pass interference, and that's something that we did today. When they give us the looks, we're going to try our best to take advantage of what's out there.
Jimmy Sierfoss, 24/7 Sports. Pretty big recruiting weekend. Did you get a chance to interact with some of them?
Yeah, I think I met with every recruit that came on official. Yeah, I met them earlier today.
Coach, Pat Rooney, Boulder Daily Camera. The other day, you said after meeting with the O-line, you thought you would get a better effort out of them tonight. Might be hard to judge without watching the film.
Right.
But did you feel like you got that?
Well, I know we got it in the end. I know we started off, a little lackadaisical, but I think we got it in the end. I always look at the statistics. I think we surrendered 4 sacks. I think that's better than last week, right? So you got to measure it by that. Our quarterback's still hurting a little bit, but he was hurting coming in the game. We can't put all of that on the line. But those guys, just looking them in the eyes, and they gave a better effort, a tremendously better effort, and I'm proud of them.
Coach, Troy Finnegan, CU Sports Report. It's felt like the defense has been coming along the last couple of weeks, and they kind of kept you in the game for a while. What was your assessment of their performance overall tonight?
The thing about defense that's different from offense, when you're listening to the calls, you know what's supposed to happen. You know who's supposed to be where, who's supposed to do this, who's supposed to do that. And Coach Kelly's done a tremendous job. I mean, he really has, because I know he makes a certain call, but if a certain guy don't do what he is asking him to do, that's very problematic, and we surrender points. He called a good game tonight. We had some situations that we didn't do what was expected, but the guys rallied back, and we still was able to provoke, I think, 3 or 4 turnovers. I didn't see that statistic, but those guys are coming along well, and I'm proud. I'm truly proud of them. But it's always one play here and there that causes you to sit in this seat and have this mood that I have right now.
Theme this season has definitely been consistency, getting a full 60 together.
Right.
This week, it was the second half. Can you kind of bring us into the locker room a little bit, and what was the message that really just kind of got everybody a little bit more motivated to come out of the second half and put that together?
You got to make up your mind. Right now, what you want to be known as, what you want to be. We got some guys say they want to be pros. Well, we got to act like it. We got some guys say they want to take care of their parents for the rest of their lives. Well, they got to act like it. We got some guys that say they love this game. Well, I got to see it. We got some coaches say the same thing, and I want to see it, as well as myself. So I'm very critical of myself first and foremost. But we just got to really act like we want it. There's a difference between believing and thinking. You could think you're going to win all day long, but when you believe it, that has to be partnered with action. Belief comes with action, Faith without works is dead. That's what my book tells me. So you got to have, it's okay to have that faith that you believe, but I got to see the action behind it. And that's what we challenge the young men to come out in the second half and show us the action of the belief. Not just sit up there and say, we going to win. That's easy to say, but we need to see the action behind it. And that starts not just on the field. That's watching film, that's preparing, that's taking care of your body, getting the proper sleep, and just doing what we ask of you to do so we could win again.
Hi, Coach.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? Nick Edwards, CU Sports Report. Ultimately, all you can really do is move forward, watch the film, reassess.
Right.
What does your plan look like moving forward in order to reignite the passion and get that win you guys are really seeking?
Well, we take the proper courses every week. I mean, we motivate the guys. It's hard to fathom that you need to motivate men that say they want it. We try to motivate these young men, and they do a wonderful job. And I'm really proud of them fighting. I want to win, trust me. But as long as I don't see quit, I could deal with it a lot better than I could if I saw quit. I don't see quit. I see guys fighting and trying their darnest, and you got to see their faces when I'm talking to them in the locker room at the conclusion of the game. Like that stuff hurts, man. That truly hurts everyone in that locker room. If it don't, there's a problem. There's a problem with your heart. There's a problem with your unity, you uniting and you loving what you say you love. That's a problem. But we got to get that passion back for this purpose with what we're trying to do. We got to get it back.
Sorry, Coach, just for clarity. So Coach Shermer will be the offensive play caller again next week and going forward?
You know how we've been doing it for the entire year? When we're in the big meeting room and we sit down, I'm right here I think Coach Kelly, Coach Ray Facette, Dennis Thurman, Coach Sherman, then the OC and the DC. The defense sits on that side of the table. So those guys right there, Dennis Thurman and Coach Sherman, they've had a tremendous influence on suggesting things this entire season. That has not changed. Now you just have a tremendous influence on not just suggesting, but calling it. So these things are not changing. It's still a group effort. It's not one guy doing good or one guy doing bad. This is a team effort the last time I checked. So we're going to consistently do what we think is the best for us to win. And I think both of those guys are really talented men, and both of them can contribute tremendously. You're looking at two different guys with two different references of experiences, and that's wonderful when you have a guy that's been dominant in college like a Coach Kelly defensively, then a Dennis Thurman as well. So when you have a guy that has gleaned